Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Today, we continue listening to the Dharma talk on the contemplation of impurity. That lesson contains a verse like this: whoever lives looking at pure signs, does not guard the senses, eats and drinks lacking moderation, is lazy and not diligent. Mara overwhelms that person like a weak tree before the wind. The second part is the opposite. Whoever lives contemplating impurity, skillfully guards the senses, eats and drinks with moderation, has faith and is diligent. Mara cannot overwhelm, like a rocky mountain before the wind. There are a few terms here, such as looking at pure signs, which we will explain later. This verse was spoken by the Buddha due to a specific cause, a story. There were 3 brothers in a certain house. The neighbors called them the 3 black brothers. The word ka in the Indian language means black. Mahaka is great black, Majjhimaka is middle black, and Kulaka is little black. In our sutras, we translate them as great black, middle black, and little black. The 3 brothers worked in trade. The eldest brother and the youngest brother took the responsibility of trading far away. Their trading caravan was very crowded. They drove large ox carts carrying goods, with many servants following to serve, and guards holding spears to escort their trading caravan as it traveled far, going from this province to that province, sometimes even going abroad. The middle brother stayed home with a very large shop to manage the trade. At that time, organizing such an operation meant the 3 brothers were very wealthy. And because they were wealthy, the eldest brother alone had 8 wives, and that is not counting the 9th one he had not yet married. Then, an incident occurred. One day, as usual, the 3 brothers started their journey from Satavia to the city of Savatthi, near the Jetavana Vihara. On the road where the ox cart caravan was traveling, involving hundreds of ox carts, they saw a very large crowd of people holding offerings, holding flowers, dressed solemnly, going somewhere. They stopped them and asked, causing the crowd of passers-by to halt the ox cart caravan. The eldest brother called out to a person and asked, "Where are you wise ones going? Where are you wise friends going so solemnly?" They replied, "We are going to Jetavana to pay homage and make offerings to the world-honored one and to listen to the Dharma." Suddenly, the eldest brother was shaken throughout his entire body. It was as if an ancient affinity had arisen. The eldest brother said, "You watch the caravan. I am going into Jetavana to see how the world-honored one is." The brother little black frowned immediately. The eldest brother decided too quickly. He jumped down from the cart, arranged his clothes decently, ran after the crowd and went straight in. Upon arriving, he mingled with the crowd and sat down to listen to the Dharma. But that day was special. The Buddha looked only at the face of the brother great black to preach the Dharma. It seemed the Dharma talk was reserved for exactly that person. So everyone else listened and understood only somewhat. The Buddha looked only at exactly that person. The Buddha preached the Dharma from beginning to end, and especially spoke about the danger, the fleeting nature of worldly sensual pleasures. The teacher knew he had 8 wives, was wealthy, and happy. The sermon was for him. He listened and became enlightened immediately, and he asked to ordain right away. The Buddha asked, "Are your parents still at home?" He said, "Sir, our parents have passed away." The Buddha asked, "Who else is a relative?" He said, "I still have 2 younger brothers. One is at home watching the shop, and one is following along." The Buddha said, "Then go back and tell the younger brother, notify him, do not ordain abruptly and leave people in a lurch." The elder brother paid homage to the Buddha and retreated to the ox cart caravan still waiting outside the gate of the Vihara. He said, "Brother, now I hand over all assets to you in middle black. I am going to ordain." The younger brother screamed out loud, saying, "Heavens, brother, you play too dirty. You play too strangely." He screamed out loud. The elder brother was still determined to hand over all assets. He left them and went in immediately, decisively. The younger brother stood bewildered. He sat and thought, suspecting, not knowing what to do. He turned back to the servants and close associates saying, "Now you guys drive this entire caravan back. I am going to ordain too." Then he jumped down and ran. Seeing the elder brother waddling ahead, he waddled after him to ordain. But the truth is, the two people ordained with two different states of mind. The elder brother became enlightened because of the Buddha's Dharma talk, so he was determined to ordain to find liberation. As for the younger brother, his whole life he always lived dependent on his brother. The brother taught this, the brother taught that, the brother arranged everything. So the younger brother could not live without the elder brother. Going back alone without the elder brother, he did not know how he would manage the work. So his intention to go ordain was with the goal that in a few days the elder brother would return. His mind completely lacked any good intention. So upon entering, well, the elder brother was diligent, always diligent in practicing. The younger brother was scurrying and restless with all sorts of things. There were times when female lay disciples went into the vihara to visit the Buddha preaching the Dharma. He sat and gazed at this person, whispered about that person, saying this person is too beautiful, that person is too beautiful, he could not bear it. The old monks were also very annoyed, saying, "This guy is truly useless, truly sloppy." But being too new, he had not yet taken the precepts, he was still a novice, so no one blamed him much. The thing is, he sat listening to the Dharma but did not listen to the Buddha preach. He only looked at this lady, looked at that lady. Meanwhile, the brother Great Black practiced very strictly. When preparing to receive the bhikkhu precepts, the brother Great Black came to speak to the Buddha. "Sir, world-honored one, in the matter of fulfilling the duties of a samama, what methods of practice are there?" The Buddha said, "There are two methods. One method is study and one method is practice. That means learning the Dharma and practicing the Dharma." Great Black said, "Sir, world-honored one, I am old so I cannot learn much. That means I only know some basic doctrines that the world-honored one has taught. Now I will be diligent. I will practice only. I cannot learn much. And my weakness is that from before until now I lived in sensual pleasure. So I want to focus on the subject of meditation regarding this issue thoroughly." The Buddha taught him to go to the charnel ground. So he went to the charnel ground to sit in meditation and contemplate corpses. In the charnel ground, there was a family responsible for managing that place. Whoever came to bring the body of a relative there would instruct their wish, and the keepers would work exactly like that. Or given a certain amount of money, they would build a pyre to burn the body. They did not burn like in the modern industrial crematoriums which push the body into a closed oven. They piled wood and burned in the open air. Smoke rose dimly. While burning, the corpse would jerk up, retract arms and jerk legs, very scary. They had to take a knife and cut the tendons first so it would not jerk. But it turned black, it melted, it sizzled, and it smelled terribly. As for those who did not have money to burn, because burning cost wood and cost oil, those without money would hand the body over to the charnel ground keeper to do as they did back then, which was not burying, but cutting it up and letting vultures and wild dogs eat. So the keeper of the charnel ground was again a woman. She saw a bald samama appearing and disappearing at that tree corner, that bush, because he always looked at corpses to contemplate the human body as impermanent and temporary like that so as not to generate desire. She sat and spied on him. Spying later, she discovered that he was a practitioner looking at the subject of corpse contemplation. After that, she came to talk. She instructed him like this. She said, "When you come here to contemplate corpses, you must report to a few places. First, you must report to me because I am the manager here. Second, you must report to the senior monk of your temple, your vihara, so people know where you went. Third, before coming here, you must report to the village chief, the hamlet chief, the authority. Why? Because there are many thieves. When they steal goods, they run into the charnel ground to throw and hide them in there, then walk out empty-handed so no one can catch them. They cannot catch the evidence. When no one is paying attention anymore, they return to the charnel ground to dig up the goods and bring them home. Therefore, to prove you are innocent in case robbers come to hide goods at that time, you must be known by people to have come here properly. Like that, do we see if the law in the old days was loose? No, it was also very tight. Not that it wasn't. We assume the old days were simple, but they also had careful laws. After speaking to Great Black, he instructed her that whenever there was a burning corpse she found suitable, she should call him. That day, there was a very beautiful rich girl who died early. The relatives brought her, gave money, and asked the keeper to burn her. She called him to the wide charnel ground. When he arrived, she performed the chanting rituals, then started piling wood and fire, and took off the outer clothes. The clothes were luxurious so they could be given to others. He started, standing and looking at the corpse burning. It burned. Let us imagine. The layers of skin peeled off, fat ran down, the face wrinkled and turned black, the corpse jerked and contracted. He looked, he absorbed it all into his mind. Then he bid farewell, he went to a quiet corner, and he sat in meditation. At that time, he meditated that truly in this world all conditioned. Things are impermanent, all change. Only the mind that attains extinction and purity is truly a real happiness. At that moment the ancient affinity opened up. Right there he attained insight wisdom. He attained the fruit of arahantship. He attained the fruit, then he returned. Just at that time, I do not know how the Buddha knew he attained the fruit at the charnel ground, but the Buddha informed the monks to return to Satavia to teach and travel in that region. That means the hometown of Great Black. Naturally, the two brothers Great Black and Little Black also went back together. With the Buddha, everyone did not know about the matter that Great Black had attained the fruit. He acted normally, only the Buddha knew. When returning to that region of Satavia, the wives of the two men had the intention to pull their husbands back to lay life. They came to invite the Buddha, asking to make offerings to the Sangha. The Buddha agreed and allowed one person to go back first to arrange things. The Buddha appointed exactly Little Black to go back first to arrange. When going back in the morning to arrange the seating here, the Buddha sits here, the elders here, the monks here, there must be someone going ahead to arrange, so the offering is thoughtful, not that on that day the Buddha just arrives. It is always like that. When there is an offering assembly, the Buddha has already sent a monk. The host has arranged the seating appropriately beforehand. The rule in the old days was like that. So assigned to Little Black, he arrived. In the morning he arrived to arrange, in the afternoon he would return. He wore layman clothes and returned to the vihara again. Why? Those women pulled him, they acted too much. They clawed and tore his shirt, put a layman shirt on him and shouted. Well, he did not have the mind to practice anyway. So he laughed heh, and the story was done. Consider it that he went back to report to the Buddha that arrangements were done. Tomorrow invite the Buddha and call the monks to come. He went home and stayed always. At that time, a person just practicing who had not taken precepts returning to lay life was also normal. So no one wondered. It was just a normal story, not important. After that, when preaching the Dharma and the meal offering were done, the wives of Great Black also saw that the wives of Little Black had a reasonable method and succeeded. They came to invite the Buddha for a meal offering another day. The intention this time was surely the Buddha would let the family invite Great Black back. Let Great Black be appointed to do the work. But this time the Buddha appointed another monk. When the meal offering was done, everyone returned, but Great Black stayed. Great Black stayed. When staying, those women did the same thing. 8 women returned to attack him, acting violently, rushing in intending to claw and tear. He used supernatural power. He flew through the roof. He flew back to pay homage at the Buddha's feet. When he had not yet returned, the group of people going back first, the monks who had not attained the way and did not know anything, were confused. They were confused, saying, the previous time the world honored one, let Little Black stay home. Little Black returned to lay life. Today, letting Great Black stay back after the meal offering, we don't know what will happen. On the road, they kept whispering and whispering to each other, confused like that. But when arriving at the vihara, when the Buddha was preparing to preach the Dharma, they saw Great Black appear in front of the Buddha, kneel down and pay homage to the Buddha. At that time, the Buddha praised Great Black as a person who had attained the fruit. Only then did the monks know the Buddha's intention was like that. The Buddha's intention was clear, so the Buddha retold that verse, spoke the verse in the Dhammapada. Whoever lives looking at pure signs, does not guard the senses, eats and drinks lacking moderation, is lazy not diligent. Mara overwhelms that person like a weak tree before the wind. Then, whoever lives contemplating impurity, skillfully guards the senses, eats and drinks with moderation, has faith and is diligent. Mara cannot overwhelm, like a rocky mountain before the wind. The story is like that. Now we analyze a bit. In this Dhammapada verse, there are 4 issues. First is looking at pure signs. Second is guarding the senses. Third is the issue of moderation in eating and drinking. And fourth is the issue of diligence. Here the main idea of this Dhammapada verse is the issue of looking at pure signs or contemplating impurity. The term from the old days was looking at pure signs. But the term today has a different meaning. So when we study sutras, do not grasp at the word but must understand the core meaning inside, the precise meaning. Just like yesterday, a Buddhist asked the teacher what practicing meditation in the 4 postures of standing, walking, lying, sitting means. I said the words standing, walking, lying, sitting are words of the old days. But the words now mean every time, every place. Sometimes in the old days, there was no phrase every time, every place. So they had to use the words standing, walking, lying, sitting. Now we have the phrase every time, every place. So we use that phrase to be easier to understand. That means standing leaning or sitting swinging in a hammock is the same, always sitting in meditation. Just like ethnic people, they have a phrase when praying to heaven and Buddha. They pray, "Please grant me a day of red fire 3 times. What does it mean? A day of red fire 3 times means what? The literal meaning is cooking rice 3 times, cooking meals 3 times. But the figurative meaning is what? To be full, warm, and sufficient. Because ethnic people sometimes lack. Not everyone easily cooks rice 3 times a day. There is no rice to cook 3 times. So the phrase is like that, but the meaning is different. So too, the phrase looking at pure signs in the old days meant passionately gazing at the body of the opposite sex. It means like that. Usually, the body of the opposite sex to us is something that makes us like it. And that is a natural instinct that the Creator has spread out. For example, saying that when a female sees the healthy, vigorous body of a male, naturally the female also has a liking. Or when a male sees the body of a female that is youthful and fresh, he also has a liking, saying that, I don't know if it is true, I am just guessing here, I don't know if it is true. If it is true or afraid it is not true, people will get angry. I am just speaking, wildly, but because the sutra says so, who knows? There is this thing, these stories are a bit hard to say, sympathize with the teacher. We study this sutra so it is like that. In medical documents that I read, I see it written clearly like this. Clearly when males reach the age of maturity, the hormone testosterone makes them generate a psychology right in their head naturally that they like the opposite sex, having reached maturity. Medical science records that very clearly. So I understand. Every male likes to gaze at the body of the female opposite sex that has developed. But in medical literature, it does not write the reverse sentence that the female is affected by a hormone that likes the male who has reached maturity and is healthy. I do not see it, so I do not know if that psychology exists or not. But once I read a newspaper article, there was a story told that there was a lady in the West, not in Vietnam, I don't know, she thanks to taking some medicine, became healthy. And she was also 60-something years old this year. She said that at this age, when she took that medicine, she was healthy. And when she saw a young boy, she felt her person get goosebumps. That means liking. That means I discovered there is a psychology that females looking at males also like. But reading in medical science, I do not see it. So I do not know what the truth is like. And I don't know who to ask. Don't know who to ask. Asking, afraid people will scold. But well, let's just say for equality that this side likes that side likes this side. For it to be even, not saying one side to avoid offending. This is a very natural tendency of humans. The issue is like this. Usually, people often consider the female to belong to what sex? The fair sex. In this world, There is only one person who considers the female to belong to the ugly sex. That is the philosopher Schopenhauer. This philosopher Schopenhauer was a human who, hated women strangely, and he never took a wife. At age 70-something he died, and sitting at the dining table he died, calmly at the dining table. His philosophy was nearly similar to Buddhism. When small, he lived with his mother, and that mother was depraved, fallen, and treated him meanly. I don't know if it was because of that reason or not that all his life he hated females. And in his philosophical articles he wrote, he attacked females unimaginably. In there he said this sentence: instead of saying the female is the fair sex, we should redefine it as the species of the ugly sex with shoulders that are narrow and hips that are big. He spoke like that, only he was bitter. But from ancient times until now, everyone considers the female to be the fair sex. Even the art schools left from Greece, they always sculpted female figures naked. Even males naked too, because they considered the body to be the beauty of the Creator. So now if we go find those statues again, we see they depicted reality. They sculpted depicting reality as vivid as real humans. But many naked statues, they viewed those naked statues as high art. Therefore, those naked statues were displayed in many public places. We see in squares, museums, opera houses, and on roofs, etc. they have many naked statues. And in families stepping into the living room, they also have naked statues to decorate and consider that as civilization, a fashionable trend. Because the human body, both male and female, was sculpted naked and displayed everywhere, created a new culture for the West. Westerners like to dress exposing the body. They like it like that, increasingly exposing the body more. Once I talked to a Buddhist, I had a complaint. I said, why do I see that for males, their bodies are not sexually suggestive, but when they attend parties they dress very covered, no longer seeing any opening. The neck is squeezed by a cravat, clothes 2 or 3 layers, vest, suit, while the female is the weak person afraid of cold, yet dresses in a way that is always revealing, saying men are strong and healthy, not afraid of cold, but dress covered completely, nothing left, considered classy, while the female is weak, easily catches a cold, but dresses revealingly. They said, sir, people have the concept that dressing more revealing is more classy. I don't know about that strange concept, I don't know. But later on, due to the influence of the West flooding into Eastern countries also started revealing gradually, revealing gradually, revealing gradually. And I am worrying the revealing will reach a level that is no longer acceptable. Currently on the street, looking is unacceptable. But I don't know who to scream to. Don't know who to scream to. Why so? Because the female body is a sexually suggestive body. That is the frank definition like that. Therefore, in the morality of the East, the female must always dress modest, covered. That means not suggesting craving in the person of the opposite sex. While males, I don't know why they dress revealingly. Surely females are not affected? I see many men wearing boxer shorts out on the street. No one criticizes. Perhaps males have no issue? The male body has no issue, but the female body is not allowed, because it has the quality of sexual suggestion. So moralists in the East are always strict in the issue of women's clothing. For example, the kimono outfit of Japan or of Korea is completely covered, looking very decent, very modest. As for Islam, it goes to this extreme, only 2 eyes are showing. So Muslim women often get headaches. It is when they put on that heavy outfit, because the fabric is thick and covers from the top of the head down to the feet. Breathing, one often inhales back one's own waste air, and it is heavy on the head too. So Muslim women often suffer from chronic headaches. The custom is due to the old days. The leader Muhammad had very many wives, and many ladies were very beautiful. Even someone married a daughter to him. At that time she was only 6 years old, and he had to raise her up. And later she was the wife he loved most. Then once he visited a house of a believer. He met the wife of the believer who came out to welcome him. He blurted out praising her as too beautiful. So she went back and demanded her husband to divorce so she could go marry him. The husband was very suffering, came to meet the leader saying, "Now my wife wants to be your wife. If you agree, I will divorce." He smiled and agreed. So the wife, 2 husbands divorced, she went to be his wife immediately. So his wives were very many. The leader Muhammad had very many. He also did not manage them all. In the times after winning battles and returning, laying out feasts to eat and drink, there were many of his believers who were also warriors, seeing his wives were beautiful so often came to linger, talk and flirt. So he was very annoyed. So he wrote in the scripture, he said that, "You guys do not linger, talk, flirt with the wives of the prophet," making the prophet very annoyed. "You guys finish the party, you should go home." And the wives of the prophet, the women when contacting outsiders who are not husbands, not fathers, not brothers, should take a veil to cover the face. So from that, just one sentence became a harsh law forcing women going out on the street to cover the face completely. Covering the face back then was just sketchy, later only showing the eyes. Showing a heel meant death immediately. Now in countries that are extreme Islamic, it is the same. When women, anyone who does not cover with a veil, there will be people who get angry and take acid to splash on the face. Very scary. Very pitiable. Islam is too extreme, so we do not discuss. But our Eastern morality advocates that the female must be covered, must be modest. And for how many thousands of years we lived happily in that culture. Until the day the culture of the West flooded in. It started destroying all those viewpoints, and it gave people conditions to look at pure signs. What does that mean? That means to gaze at the body of the opposite sex, especially the female, having more conditions. Normally, if everyone dressed modestly, the man would not have conditions to gaze at the female body and would not be shaking like a weak tree before the wind. Here, this factor is very important. Shaking like a weak tree before the wind. Let us notice this concept. But when men step out on the street, they keep seeing rampant before their eyes those females who keep exposing their bodies. Then except for those determined to practice, as for the majority remaining, how is it? All shaking like a weak tree before the wind. That is the reason why now young men and men are weaker than in the old days. It is so. Because they go out on the street and they suffer looking at pure signs. They do not want to, but pure signs keep exposing fully, and they suffer agitation in the soul like a weak tree before the wind. Meaning from this weak tree before the wind, it leads to a chain. It has a chain influence on other psychological factors. How is the chain influence? It is when one soul is shaking like a weak tree before the wind because of gazing at pure signs, starting a series of other weaknesses to appear as well. That means a series of psychologies that make people easily fall into depravity, indulgence, corruption appear consecutively, just from an initial key. Actually, there are many influences back and forth. For example, a person who is arrogant, that person is also easily corrupted. And it is also a key. Or a person who likes gambling, it is also a key to make them have many subsequent corruptions. Or a person who likes drinking alcohol is also a key to open a long road of corruption behind. Here too, one factor is gazing at pure signs, meaning gazing at the body of the opposite sex. It is also a key causing a chain influence, making people go into corruptions following after that. Therefore, in a society where we see if going outside and the female body is exposed too much, we guarantee one thing, that society is going down, is depraved in morality. That is very clear. And many people keep saying this is the right to freedom. But the freedom that lets people go to depravity, that is a wrong freedom. Let us notice this. There are countries considered free. Let us go there and live simply. We will see they are stricter than our Eastern countries a lot. Their law codes are more terrible. Moving is not allowed. The citizens in there lie like lying in a basket, stiff, not daring to do anything, not violating anything. Because other laws, they squeeze humans so they cannot move. Those countries always say they are free and force other countries to be free. But what are they free in? They are free in fields to help. People easily deprave and easily fall. And they consider that the human right to be free, while our Eastern countries are the opposite. Our laws are very loose, few constraints on humans. But regarding morality, we are strict. Strict in living conditions to keep humans from being fallen, from being depraved. These two concepts are very different from each other. And in the East, we are often criticized as lacking freedom. But the truth is our laws are very loose. Want to do what? Do it, easy, nothing happens. But we are strict on other points, especially the issue that makes humans corrupt. We are strict. And especially up to this moment, in the hearts of many Vietnamese people, they still love the modesty and covered nature of women. Correct? I say this sentence. Correct? Why are many men silent? Don't know why. Strange. Asking male Buddhists here, how is it? Correct? Correct. Old people asking young people, correct? No. That means this person does not love the modesty and covered nature of women. That is the truth. Shaking head always. How is that? Once it was like this. Once when I was studying at university, the lecturer said this. He said the era of you guys, of you brothers and sisters today no longer has the happiness like us in the old days. What is that happiness? It is the happiness of looking at beautiful girls walking on the street, but in an appearance that is shy, modest, covered. Today that thing is no more. Today you go out on the street only seeing many young women sitting on vehicles without caution, etc. He said that sentence, want to understand how, understand, roughly like that. And they loved the modesty and covered nature. Now we speak over to the work of practicing morality a bit. It is the chain influence. When we gaze at the body of the opposite sex, it makes us be shaking like a weak tree before the wind. Meaning after that, that person is overwhelmed by Mara. Mara overwhelms that person like a weak tree before the wind. It is that the person's mind is agitated and they start breaking many other virtuous practices. The reason is because they like gazing at women, but they do not know how to contemplate impurity. Here we see that the Mara that overwhelms people starts from an opening in our heart. There is a door for Mara to impact our mind. It makes countless unwholesome psychologies arise. This factor is not a symbolic factor, but a real factor. Humans are very strange. There are people who, in their brain, have a channel that opens, causing them to be able to contact people of the in world, the spiritual world, or people possessed by ghosts are the same. And in their brain, there must be some part that opens which causes ghosts to enter. Other people, ghosts cannot enter. Which channel in the brain? Once I talked to a doctor, Dr. Lutan Dan. He specializes in nutrition, but especially in micronutrients. He had a discovery, and his discovery is very unique and famous in the world. When he said this, it made me surprised too. He said this sentence. He explained that he discovered that in the micronutrient zinc, it has a very special property, which is that it can close the channels on the brain, making people not be impacted by people of the spiritual world. So I asked him to clarify. He said, for example, there is a person who often sees ghosts. He gives them zinc micronutrient to drink, that person stops seeing ghosts. Or a person keeps hearing voices in the ear or is often possessed by ghosts in and out. He gives them zinc micronutrient to drink, that person stops being possessed by ghosts. Or children who cry at night as if there is a ghost coming to scare them. Give the baby zinc to drink for a few days, it stops crying at night. That means ghosts do not attack its mind anymore. This thing is a very strange discovery. I don't know how true or false it is, but let's just record the things he discovered. At that time I said, if so, zinc closes some channel in the brain. Then in practicing it is also like that. For example, our mind has an opening. Naturally Mara impacts, causing us to generate continuously wrong thoughts. And our thoughts are not generated by us, but in reality caused by an external force impacting that we think we generated. For example, sometimes when we get angry, watch out, is it us? But we have been impacted by an external force into our brain because we have some opening regarding psychology. Regarding psychology. So the bad factor from outside impacting, which in Buddhist sutras is often called Mara, is a real factor. In the sutra, Conquering Mara, someday Buddhists listen, I have lectured in the Nikayas that sutra. It is that wanting to destroy monks, Mara must make monks either angry or arrogant. Then it opens a door. Then Mara impacts into the monk's bad thoughts, causing monks to neglect practicing and then deprave completely. First, to let monks get angry, Mara enters the mind of lay people to keep standing and scolding the masters, throwing stones at the masters to provoke the masters to anger. But at that time the Buddha taught the monks to practice patience, contemplate compassion. So the venerables did not generate anger. Mara could not enter the minds of the venerables. Then after that, the Mara started to change. It impacted the mind of lay people to come kneel and bow to the masters, make offerings, praise the masters to the clouds. Born to let the masters generate the mind of arrogance. The masters generated arrogance, then it impacted the mind of the masters. It destroyed the masters, ruining the life of practice. At that time the Buddha knew. The Buddha taught bhikkhus to contemplate the humble mind, seeing oneself like dust. So the venerables did not generate arrogance. Mara could not impact. The story is like that. So Mara wanting to impact, there must be an opening in our soul, in our psychology. So here is the act that either unintentionally or intentionally, when we see a female body, youthful, beautiful, then making us be agitated. At that time a door has opened for Mara to impact. What Mara? In the sutra it says a type of demon king, a type of external demon king often impacts the mind to take us onto the bad path. But also in our society, after we are agitated because of having the habit of gazing at the female body, we will suffer many types of Mara following next. In our language, Ma means ghost, and we have a play on words. Who likes heroin suffers the ghost of drugs, Matai. Who likes drinking alcohol suffers the ghost of drunkenness, Mamen. Who is a hoodlum suffers the ghost of pimps, Mako. Who loves soccer then, Maradona. Who loves movies then suffers Marilyn Monroe. Who loves music then watch out for Madonna. Who likes gambling then suffers Macau. Who is a hoodlum then watch out for Mafia. And who likes running too fast watch out for Marathon. Meaning when we are open a bit, we are agitated at one weak point only, but immediately many doors of depravity open for us. So it is possible that person before was very decent, only suffered looking at pure signs. Then that person lived ruined always. And I have seen once. The family was a Buddhist family, relatively good. Before that, the younger ones I also knew, the family also lived very decently, very well, nothing. Everyone happy. Only one time a guy friend shoved into the husband's hand a pornographic film. Just that. This man was curious, hid from his wife to watch. At night the wife slept, children slept all, he hid and turned on the machine, he pushed that tape in, he watched. Alone. Later the wife discovered, told me. Just like that, the family shattered. Then from there he quit, he depraved, he drank, he chased girls, then quarreled, then shattered completely. Then 10+ years later I also met again. But naturally, we understand when meeting again, is it happy? Not happy. Looking at each other awkwardly. Awkwardly because it is like that. So therefore from just one, looking at pure signs, and looking through films, then also destroying the entire soul and shattering the family of people. We see it, it is truly like a weak tree before the wind. It opens the door, then everything else. The consequences are truly immeasurable. So today too, newspapers or officials who have the function, they have a question about one thing. Why is the youth now so easily corrupted? Morality now degrades too fast. And why? They go find causes of all sorts. But the truth is there is one cause. What cause? It is that pure signs are exposed fully out on the street, in films, in books and newspapers. And now internet and all sorts. That means the youth has too many opportunities to call it looking at pure signs like that. Following scriptures is looking at pure signs. So from one door it opens, its soul is shaken once. Then countless other corrupt things happen. Then friends invite to go play, go inject drugs, go into discos and immerse in fun parties. And when immersed in fun parties, then how? Shattered completely. Like that, if the state was stricter in the issue of controlling images a bit, perhaps society would also be less depraved. Or parents too. Parents who teach children a clear viewpoint regarding that issue a bit. That girls must dress modest, covered. Boys must have a Decisive attitude not to gaze at pure signs of that, keeping one's heart pure. Then society will be less depraved, both on the side of the state and on the side of parents. And teachers too. This thing must be educated in schools, in families very carefully. Currently, people are testing teaching what is called sex education in schools. But the way of teaching is by people who are not people determined to practice. Only people determined to practice teaching the subject of sex teach properly, making the young class escape the invitation, the attraction of sex, so it keeps the mind pure. As for people who do not know how to practice teaching sex, it becomes what? Like drawing a path for the deer to run, making it corrupted faster a bit more. Corrupted fast. Now there are many places complaining, saying my child learned sex education, came back, started causing trouble, unbearable. It is the teaching style of those who do not determine to practice. Therefore, to teach sex education in school only assigned to monks to teach, guarantee. Guarantee teaching done. Guarantee no one dares to take a wife or take a husband anymore. Like that is successful. It has come to the time we must promote a healthy culture for the world, which is not creating conditions for humans to keep gazing at the body so as not to be shaking. When not having the shaking before the body of the opposite sex, we have more resistance. When having more resistance, we are less dragged by depraved games. And the consequence, the result is society will be better. As for monastics, specifically regarding this issue, it is even more drastic. Just now we spoke of lay people outside in the world. Now truly this sutra speaks for practitioners. So the practitioner regarding this issue is even more drastic. We see because the practitioner in the old days lived in a society still modest, covered. Yet when gazing at a female lay disciple coming to the temple in clothes that were flowing, graceful, charming, with a face delicate, many people were still how? Still agitated. So don't speak of in the era today where the model is shirts that expose the whole back, right? And the front belly, don't know how to say. I see it and feel pity, don't know how to say. Uncomfortable, I don't know how. That means in the era where the monk must be surrounded, flooded by pure signs. If that monk does not have a stance, does not have a viewpoint, does not have a high degree of determination, then clearly how is that person's mind? Also shaking like a weak tree before the wind, cannot avoid. So today the person practicing the determination regarding the issue of practice like this contemplation of impurity must be 10 times, 100 times the people of old to keep oneself. Not that practicing equal to people of old is failing all. Because people of old at that time, the society was not affected by bad cultures. Today our determination must be 100 times the people of old to overcome, to neutralize the pure signs so our soul is not drowned. When our soul has been drowned by attractions, the act of going to action is not far. A monk is also a human, so also suffers a very natural tendency, which is being attracted by the body of the opposite sex. That is a story that cannot be avoided. So there was one time there was a teacher. He was still young and very handsome, very talented, very idealistic. Came to complain to me saying, "Sir, why did the Buddha forbid a thing too harsh?" Asked, "Forbid what?" Said, "Right at the most important thing of humans the Buddha forbade completely. The Buddha forbade right at the exact point that is most important of humans. The Buddha forbade not allowing, so suffering seriously." Asked the reason why? Actually, I am also shaking like a weak tree before the wind. Currently having an issue of being agitated. Because that monk was too handsome, too decent. So there was someone who made the teacher have to shake, so he came to meet me to complain. So I answered like this. I know how now. Wanting to be a saint must be like that. No other way. And we cannot have any reasoning to fix the precept of the Buddha. No reasoning at all. But this is the condition. If wanting to be a saint then must accept so. Not accepting then okay, no one forces. Why complain? So the monk has things like this to help that person overcome when the pure signs flood. First is to experience the logic of impermanence. When we accidentally see a female body they expose, then touching is seeing, touching is seeing. Accidentally seeing a female body exposing, then must experience the logic of impermanence. Say like this, now looking beautiful like that, but about 30 years later then how? Then it is old, ugly. But if experiencing is not successful, then now in the computer there is a program, there is that software. When we meet anyone we find beautiful, we come ask to take a picture. We take a picture, then we bring the picture of that beautiful girl into the computer, we scan in, then we go on the program, we issue the command, execute the image of this person 40 years later please. Then it will appear an old lady, hunchbacked, eyes wrinkled, hair gray, teeth fallen, wearing some false teeth. After that, we look at that person, then the picture comes out, we take it to gift that girl saying, this is gifting you 40 years later, you will be like this. Then after that, run fast, don't stand there long. With one more thing, the flip side of beauty is what? Actually, the human body, we have two sides. One beautiful side called the pure sign, and a flip side is the bodily activities. It generates excretion, right? Excretion via digestion, excretion via sweat, then many other things. It is also called the flip side. So seeing beautiful must think of the flip side. The other side of the pure sign is the impure sign, etc. To see, so we feel also less what? Less desire. And thinking of the time of being old, which the Buddha often taught, thinking of the time of being old. Thinking of the time of being old, there is a story that there were two people, husband and wife, in the resistance war just married. Then the person had to go to the north. The person stayed in the south. So the lad made a date with the lass that 2 years later I will return. Because the program was just like that. You try to wait. And he went to regroup in the north. But not 2 years later, 20-something years, nearly 30 years later, he could return. So he went looking for the lover in his dreams again. But unexpectedly, when stepping in, then how? Not right, vanished. That man who practiced quickly attained the way, not practiced saw that. That means in many sutras the Buddha taught, said let's look at that young beautiful girl and think of the time. The back of this girl is hunched like a roof. In the Buddhist sutra it records clearly hunched like a roof. Hair then gray, teeth missing, eyes then looking not clearly. Whenever speaking saying, ha what, ha. Very annoying. Skin then wrinkled. Roughly. Let's look at that thing too. Saying it sounds weird, but that is a truth. That is a truth. Like I remember when I had not yet gone to ordain, I knew a girl. Not dating normally, don't misunderstand. Just fellow Buddhists going to the temple together. So at young age, everyone is beautiful. Everyone is beautiful. But at that time I had decided to go ordain, so I never had a generated mind of any issue. But because my nature is I am often solicitous, to anyone I am also friendly. Don't know, it seems she misunderstood or something. I don't know, misunderstood. But I still went to ordain. I went. Then at the time, the day I shaved my head, she came running. But she ran, arriving late by half an hour so. I had shaved the head done. Incident happened. I remember about more than 20 years later. Then she brought her husband to visit me, having gone abroad. Husband came to visit. Then I looked at her. I said truthfully like this. I said if on the street I met, I would not recognize. I said this is I speaking the truth. On the street I looked, I would not recognize the friend of old days, fresh like that, cute like that today. But I do not say now is ugly, not saying. But true that time changes everything. If in the old days we loved that human because of the beauty, then truly 30 years later, the reason to love is lost, not remaining anymore, lost immediately, and the Buddha often reminded of that. The Buddha often said look through time to see the fading of beauty. So right now one's heart is already serene. Buddha taught that. The young class now loves each other because they cannot look through time. Seeing any girl beautiful then chasing. Chasing is only looking at what is before the eyes. But the Buddha always reminded to look through time to see beforehand the moment it will fade. And whether at that time still love or not. Like that, when the first reason is let's experience the logic of impermanence. Then there will be people arguing. Someone who is lecherous, who is passionate, will say like this. Then if this lady is old, then I go find another lady who is young. Is there? There will be a person who reasons like that to argue the morality the Buddha taught, which is experiencing the logic of impermanence. They will argue saying, if Mrs. A is old, find another person younger. Saying, so then now we will have another reasoning. Saying like this, when we like someone we must possess, right? Must make that person be ours. But when possessing, then must bear what? A responsibility for a whole life, right? Not that when we take people then we don't give people food, don't give people clothes, don't worry, don't care. Always must be like solicitous care. Birthday must remember. Not remembering is dead fresh, right? Etc. Today is Women's Day, March 8th, and no flowers. Don't enter the house, don't go back anymore, right? That means must be solicitous, must care, and responsibility for a whole life to express what is called love. Can you bear it? Aiming responsibility for a life capable or not. Then the girl that we carry back is not a person meek, saintly like a female saint. But how? There are times rising in madness as usual. Times fiercer than a demon, a bear as usual, right? There are times like idle stories, meaning going mad wanting to smash house smash door as usual. And times we have business busy, they don't sympathize, keep grumbling. And we don't know how to explain. If we explain we are also too tired, cannot explain. And not explaining then, correct, you went with which girl, right? So must think of that beforehand. When we love someone, we carry that person back. Do we bear the responsibility for a whole life capable or not? Yes. So I am weak, so I refused from afar. As for who is healthy, strong try to brace. Don't know, losing. That responsibility for a life is not simple. Aiming capable, the capable then endure. And therefore we say to that person, instead of having to bear responsibility for a life, well live a life of practicing serene. We love all sentient beings voluntarily, not forced. More serene a lot, nobler a lot, right? Now like this, like a practitioner like the monks and nuns is never forced to love anyone with responsibility. Because our family we also left completely all responsibilities. And towards everyone we don't have any binding. We only have what? A heart of volunteering that Buddha taught is loving all sentient beings. We care, worry for all sentient beings, teach, guide all sentient beings, and call everyone to love each other voluntarily. Like that mind of love is how it is beautiful and it is serene. As for the love of family with each other, how is it? It is heavy, binding, uncomfortable. So having gone to ordain, remember to overcome that love to love everyone. Serenely, voluntarily, and beautifully. Saying like that, but then people argue more. Not finished. For example, there is someone outside, they hear Buddhism say like that. They say now I don't need responsibility. I eat cake, pay money. There is also a reason to argue. Saying not because I don't have responsibility. I eat cake, pay money. Then we will start having another reasoning. Another morality. We explain this third reasoning. I will explain carefully in the lecture on the coming Vesak ceremony, night of the 14th. I will lecture on this meaning. That means this meaning is, like this, enjoyment is we consume less of our merit. Meaning each of us born in this world, we have a certain amount of merit. Certain merit is due to many past lives we created. Now, for example, that person, the total merit of that person is 1,000 units. I don't know, for example, 1,000 liters. This person, the merit of this person just born in life has 2,000 liters of happiness. That person is 5,000 liters of happiness. There are people with only 50 liters of happiness. So each person has a total sum of their happiness. But when we enjoy happiness, any happiness, that merit how? Lost gradually. But if we consume a glass of wine fully, then lost completely half a liter, 2 liters of happiness. For example, so too the pleasure in sexual lust takes away a lot of the number of happiness we have in our life. Taking gradually. And when that total sum of happiness is consumed too much, then how are people? They have nothing left to be happy. That means life will not have luck. Life many sufferings, many diseases, many lacks, many frustrations. That means there must be suffering to compensate. Because the total sum of happiness we have taken all, we have consumed, worn out all. And like that, there is no more opportunity for us to live peacefully, serenely, and go deep into the spiritual horizon where there is much greater happiness. So whoever saves that number of happiness to practice meditation, spirituality, that person will enjoy the merit of saints. The merit in spirituality. Because going into meditation has its happiness. In meditation there is happiness. And that happiness is more subtle than the pleasures of life. And if we take our total sum of happiness and we roast it all into the pleasures of life, then we have no opportunity to be saints anymore at all. As for if we control, we do not take that total sum of happiness to enjoy pleasures of life, but we take that total sum of happiness we pour into spiritual meditation, then we go into the world of saints. We enjoy the peace of saints. That is, we answer for the person who keeps demanding to enjoy pleasures of life. It is so. We say the pleasures of life, they fade quickly and deplete merit. As for the peace, the happiness of saints is immense, infinite, nobler, and it helps us increasingly sublimate this life and other lives. Therefore, do not let the total sum of our happiness be depleted. Save that happiness for the work of practice. Then next time, night of the 14th at the temple, I will lecture the Vesak ceremony. I will speak about this issue more carefully a bit. But there are people arguing more, saying then people argue we have preached all words. There are people arguing saying, now I only gaze. I do not want to possess, so I do not have responsibility. I do not have any feelings. There are people arguing to that level even. Then we answer how. We will explain how. Saying when liking gazing, then the mind is how already shaking, already agitated. And a shaking, a small agitation is also a thing not allowed for a person who has determined to practice. One's mind moving slightly a bit when gazing at a female body is already a bit of fault. So therefore must purify the inner mind to the place of subtlety, not letting a bit of turbidity arise in the mind. It is when we look at a female we still feel a bit of liking, then it's done. In the mind there is already a bit of turbidity, and because of that the person practicing must escape this. But there are people arguing more. We explain to that level and there are people still arguing saying like this, saying why so difficult? Why so difficult-natured? Then we answer how. We answer that because wanting to be a saint must be very difficult, must be very careful, must be very subtle. If not willing to be a saint, then keep sinking in birth and death forever. As for having wanted to be a saint, then must try to overcome all things like that. So therefore when we see the body of the opposite sex, in our mind there must immediately be four things appearing. One is seeing the impermanence, the aging, the death that will come to that person. Will age, will die. Like that, aiming to love capable, if to that point loving more than just love. The second is when seeing a body of the opposite sex must think of the mandatory responsibility if we possess that person. And think always. The third is we see the loss of merit we will have to bear if we enjoy pleasure with that person. And the fourth thing is must control our mind to see where the level of calmness of our mind has reached. It is when seeing a female body of the opposite sex, we must think of these four things in our mind immediately so we keep the calmness to determine to practice. Besides, factors supporting a practitioner are the issue of guarding the senses. That means frequently controlling one's mind, not waiting until the moment we meet the body of another, meet pure signs that we control our mind. Normally always controlling our mind. That is guarding the senses. Regarding eating and drinking with moderation. Eating and drinking with moderation is because in the old days the Buddha did not have vegetarianism permanently, went for alms. Then whoever gave what ate that. Only whenever people brought food to make offerings, people brought vegetarian food. As for begging in the middle of the road, whatever they gave had to be eaten. So sometimes had to eat meat. And if keeping eating and drinking without moderation, it also adds influence of the body hitting onto the psychology. So our mind will be easily agitated. More. easily agitated more. So vegetarians, we have the advantage that although the body is a bit weak, we are not affected by the influence of physiology on psychology. That is the factor of eating. And drinking with moderation, careful. And the third is the issue of diligence in studying practice. Always trying to learn doctrine, absorb doctrine, think about doctrine, contemplate doctrine. Then practice those things bit by bit. Then like that Mara cannot impact into our mind. Remember so, Mara is a real factor like outside. But wanting to impact into our mind must have some opening, some weak point, like magic charms too. For example, that charm person hits us making us upside down crazy. It is also because we have some opening that the charm can enter. Rather, charm cannot enter. So therefore, if we practice diligently, we bow to Buddha frequently with respect, then charms cannot hit in. Mara cannot hit in, because we get protection mostly, like that. This lesson we speak like that. Now we pass to another lesson. There is a Dhammapada verse. Whoever wears the Kasaya robe, mind not yet left impurities, not self-controlled, not truthful, is not worthy of the Kasaya robe. Whoever leaves impurities, precepts skillfully strictly held, self-controlled living truthfully, truly worthy of the Kasaya robe. This Dhammapada verse the Buddha spoke because of an occasion like this. It was once the two venerables Sariputta and Moggallana led 1,000 monks to go back to Rajagaha. Then in a Dharma talk, Venerable Sariputta lectured on the cause and effect of the act of dana, generosity. We know Venerable Sariputta is honored as what? First in wisdom. To the point once the Buddha praised Venerable Sariputta like this. Regarding the aspect of wisdom, Sariputta equals me. So many lessons the Buddha preached everywhere, Venerable Sariputta systematized, preached again clearly, transparently, and often analyzed, split further to be easy to understand, understanding very deeply the intent of the Buddha, the moralities the Buddha taught. So the Buddha was very pleased every time Venerable Sariputta said something. So this time in Rajagaha, Venerable Sariputta lectured on the cause and effect of generosity. He said like this, if someone often gives dana but does not advise others to give dana, then next life this person will enjoy the blessing of wealth but be lonely, around oneself having no relatives. Then whoever does not do the act of dana but often advises others to give dana, then next life one is not rich. But one often has relatives and those relatives are rich, so one also enjoys together with them. But oneself is hard to make money. Third is whoever does not give dana, also does not advise others to give dana, then next life both poor and lonely, no relatives. As for the fourth, whoever both gives dana and advises others to give dana, then next life the wealth is multiple times, and surrounding oneself are full of relatives. He analyzed cause and effect very well. Because why so? Actually, to be relatives with each other, the merit must be equal. Then we can be relatives with each other like that. Like once I saw a husband and wife, and I saw two people, the two merits were different. One wife merit was very big, but the husband merit was very little. So I said later these two people will part ways. And truly like that, the year after divorced immediately. Two merits not equal how to enjoy. So the person must live in a multi-story house, the person must live in a tin house, how to live in one house, right? Forced to part ways so each person lives in a house correct with their merit. So too, for example, now our fate is a poor fate. Then how can we have rich brother, rich sister, rich father, rich mother, rich uncle, rich aunt, right? If that person is rich, forcefully we can never be poor. They must help us, they must love us. So therefore equal merit can make relatives of each other. And what is equal merit? Equal merit because previous life advised each other to do good things. Together, agreed with each other to join hands to contribute effort with each other to do good things. Good things beneficial for people. So this life having merit together with each other becoming relatives of each other. He analyzed that thing very well. Therefore we also follow his teaching. We know the Buddha Dharma, then we also try to help everyone know Buddha Dharma to practice. We know giving dana, then also let's help others to give dana together. So there are many Buddhists very good. There are many Buddhists very good. For example, there is a Buddha statue requested to be offered to erect in a pagoda. There are Buddhists having extra money. Asked how much the statue. Said statue 3 million. They have extra strength to offer fully immediately. They do not offer. They say go call everyone. That they cover the end. That means they also want their Dharma brothers, people contributing 5,000, 2,000 is also okay. But to contribute in. Then sometimes people contribute fully only 1 million, 2 million. They offer the rest immediately. But they want their brothers, each person, to scrounge the money of sweat and tears to put in offering to the Buddha statue. Like that, so that everyone has merit together. So that person makes merit but very benevolent, not selfish. So next life then how? Grow up to be a rich, glorious person and around oneself friends. Good people are full. Because those people also contributed money into that Buddha statue like that. Or saying this time we make offerings, we give dana of Dharma. We give dana of tapes, lectures, books, discs, etc. Moral documents we give. But there are people capable of offering all, not bothering. Just keep calling. Saying keep calling. Whatever remains they cover the end. Then the person who gives dana like that is unintentionally correct with the teaching of Venerable Sariputta. Meaning wanting many people to join hands contribute strength, many people to generate the mind together. So later in some life meeting again very joyful, very affectionate, very happy, because we have many fellow practitioner friends also having equivalent merit as us. And there are many people giving dana but selfish. So coming up saying, Sir, this Buddha statue I cover okay. Sir, don't give to anyone else. Myself alone. Thinking knowing this person knows. There are people coming in later for the Buddha statue. Having someone already, then so the pedestal Buddha sits I cover okay. Not letting anyone touch okay sir. Myself alone. Offering for what? Saying next life I have a seat slightly delicious. Saying so. Then that offering making merit but selfish. Then next life sitting in a high place true. But sitting around calling no one. Answering. There is no one who is a close relative oneself's follower. Calling no one answering. Wanting to go pour water. Slide down the chair and go pour water. As for the person who everything is. Shared together. Every time pouring a sip of water there is someone going to pour us a sip of water. The meaning that Venerable Sariputta lectured on cause and effect is very profound. So when he lectured like that with words very lovely, very easy to understand, very clear, making many people in Rajagaha truly grateful, they discussed together that we offer a meal to the Sangha. That day they went to collect money completely. This time not one rich person putting out anymore. They went, one person a can of rice, 2 cans of rice, a piece of food, a few coins gathered all to offer a meal for that 1,000 bhikkhus. 1,000 bhikkhus. Then in there was a rich man. He said he had a piece of cloth. There was a bolt of fabric. Bolt of fabric very beautiful, very precious. He wove with very new technology, etc. Very beautiful, very fragrant. He had marinated scent of flowers in here. Now he wanted to offer to a venerable who was most worthy. Then when discussing back and forth, there was one person saying, let us offer to Venerable Sariputta. Then someone discussed saying, Venerable Sariputta rarely comes here. Sometimes end of rainy season, passing rainy season. He returns here, he lectures Dharma, he visits us a bit then goes. Not equal to Venerable Devdatta. Venerable Devdatta is we see frequently. Whenever touching an issue calling he is there. Immediately. And no issue also see him come visit, doing constantly. So closer. He is close to us too much here. But we go offer to Venerable Sariputta, afraid he will be sad. Well offer to Venerable Devdatta. So they agreed to discuss also waving hands to offer Venerable Devdatta. Then offering to him. He cut out to so lower robe than upper robe. Then complete. And he liked it very much. And he walked back and forth. He already walked a lot, but having a beautiful robe he walked even more. All day walking on the road to show off. Beautiful. So if we see anyone who often goes, Out playing a lot, it is not that they crave going out playing, but sometimes the set of clothes just sewn. Reason like that, because they come to visit us, not because they miss us or anything. Because of the set of clothes just sewn like that. We must understand that thing. Pair of sandals just bought, or hair just curled or just straightened. Don't know generally like that. Not that they love or miss us anything. Don't misunderstand. Then Venerable Devdatta, he was such, he wore the robe, he walked constantly. But suffering one thing is he wore the robe not beautifully. Don't know why. People sewed very skillfully. But when he wore on, looking still clumsy. Everyone said, oh, why strange. The shirt is very beautiful. But when Venerable Devdatta wears, then how? Not beautiful. Very strange. Then that story reached the ears of the Buddha. The Buddha said like this, the person who lives not diligent, not compassionate, not diligent, not truthful. That means implying Venerable Devdatta was a bit fake. Person not truthful, not having virtue, then not worthy of the Kasaya robe. So wearing it is not beautiful. And the Buddha said it is not now that this happened, but from ancient times this happened. The Buddha told about a time long ago. The person Devdatta was a hunter. He went into the forest, he hunted. And people often ordered hunting for elephants for tusks. Then at that time in that forest there was a very large herd of elephants. And in that forest there was a Paksabuddha. He attained the way. He lived in the forest. The elephant herd, due to having spiritual intuition. Elephants have spiritual intuition. The elephant herd often came to pay homage, to live with the Paksabuddha. And sometimes getting flowers and fruits often came to display around to make offerings to the Paksabuddha. So the hunter tracked the elephant herd and discovered that the Paksabuddha was respected by the elephant herd. Once, when he went bathing, the hunter stole his robe. Then that guy went to look for a place sitting wearing the robe. Seeing a herd of elephants coming, this guy sat wrapping the robe and sat, and killed many elephants thanks to that method. Killed many elephants one by one, until the Bodhisattva, that is Buddha Shakyamuni in a past life, he reincarnated, he was the elephant king. He reincarnated as the elephant king to block this danger. At that time he discovered this was a hunter faking the robe of the Paksabuddha. At that time he avoided the spear of the hunter, and forced the hunter not to be allowed to fake the appearance of a true samama to do evil things. Then the Buddha said since that time Devdatta was already not worthy of the Kasaya robe. And the Buddha repeated, whoever wears the Kasaya robe, mind not yet left impurities, not self-controlled, not truthful, is not worthy of the Kasaya robe. Whoever leaves impurities, precepts skillfully strictly held, self-controlled living truthfully, truly worthy of the Kasaya robe. Sentence like that. So here it has a cause and effect that appears in appearance. Okay. For example, sometimes a set of clothes sewn very skillfully, but a person wears it and we see it not beautiful. Then we know immediately this person how. The merit of that person is not worthy of that set of clothes. For example, maybe they sew an evening gown or a voile dress, but they wear it, then we still see it clumsy, seeing it superfluous. Somehow, saying that shirt with that person does not stick. Knowing immediately this person's merit is not much. And those people inviting to play in a group don't play. Don't play. As for the person who has merit, Buddhists notice one thing. They wear a simple piece of cloth still looking strangely beautiful. Like that. Or they wear luxurious clothes we look seeing beautiful is. Granted. But sometimes they only wear a piece of worn cloth and they walk we still see very beautiful. Don't know if Buddhists notice that? Clothes in life I do not notice. But I notice the clothes of practitioners. I noticed that a lot. From the time I started going to ordain, I noticed that thing. I saw why also that set of clothes. Because back then the masters were still very poor. The time after liberation. At that time our country was still poor. So practitioners had few clothes to go ordain. Sometimes wanting to go ordain dared not go ordain, because had to spend a lot of fabric to sew 3 robes, then underrobe, then road clothes, then inner clothes, all sorts. And back then fabric was not easy to find. So sometimes the masters often wore shared clothes with each other. Sometimes there was a formal ceremonial robe, when which master went then wore that shirt to go on the road. Returning put the shirt hanging up. Other master going wore the shirt went on. Not that the temple had many shirts, but also that shirt there were people wearing it very beautiful. There were people wearing it not beautiful. And I noticed correctly, the person wearing that beautiful, naturally true, they had the virtue, their character was good, having morality. As for the person whose character was rough, any master whose character was rough wearing it looking not beautiful. Don't know why. From tens of years ago I noticed that thing. Later reading this Dhammapada verse to this part seeing very accurate. Naturally the clothing, the shirt does not make the monk, but actually it also signals for us to know how the merit, the virtue of that person is. In life also so, and in the work of practice also so. Therefore if our appearance fits with our inner mind, then it is very harmonious and beautiful. But if it does not fit, we will see it slightly superfluous, slightly clumsy. And we must be sharp to look to see. So therefore when we wear the monk shirt, the Kasaya robe, we have declared to everyone about what? We declare to everyone I am a moral person of precepts. I have the ideal of enlightenment. I have the heart of compassion for sentient beings. I have diligence. When wearing that on, we declared a series of those things. And if we declare but we do not do, then how? Merit lost very much. Merit lost very much. So therefore if those factors are not yet correct, then we are not yet worthy to wear that Kasaya robe. The masters too, when having disciples, do not be easy for disciples to wear the Kasaya robe. Do not be easy. Once it was like this. Once I went to examine the precept platform, meeting an old man. He ordained. He entered asking to take precepts of Srimanara. I did not ask doctrine but I asked first. The reason why go ordain? Said my house, I lived outside in the world, I suffered. I entered the temple to do merit work. The master called me to ordain. Now the master calls me to go take precepts. Then ask now say the 5 precepts of lay people. Said sir, I do not know. The master loves, so let me take precepts. Kept asking on and on not knowing anything. I had to give no score. And transfer that file to the masters in the organizing committee. Up to the masters to decide. Rather the person knows nothing. But what we deserve to blame is blame the master teacher. Right? The master teacher with the person never having ideal, never having anything worthy but dared let go take precepts. Take precepts. Today we study this much. Later we will listen to the new song of Teacher on Xian Chan. Song is the song of falling rain. I wrote on the occasion of the early season rain with the contribution of Brother Xian Chan. And I have a small poem to end this Dhammapada. Verse, the robe like sunlight, fluttering amidst pristine life, sowing for people dreams about a world of boundless coolness, building life with love, opening bright the path of equanimity, wishing everyone gets every happy thing like that. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Q&A section. Sir, taking 8 precepts only keeps precepts on that day. Passing other days I do not keep the last 3. Precepts, is it okay? It is correct. 8 precepts is only keeping precepts on that day. Let me ask, what is karma result? Is it that when generating something it is already karma or must pass body? Speech mind to be karma? Correctly, whatever we do impacting others becomes karma. For example, we say a sentence, others happy, others sad. Or others will be better or worse, it becomes karma. Or we do something making people happy, people sad, beneficial or not beneficial, that is karma. As for thoughts hidden in our mind, it is only the cause of karma, not yet karma. Via mouth, via behavior becomes karma. Then karma then passing how much time later becomes fruit. Like that the mind acts as cause, then speech work becomes karma, then later we bear fruit. But actually there are thoughts that have become karma already. For example, we have a thought in the head that in this world no one equals me. And we have the pleasure, we enjoy the happiness by that thought. Then we also suffer loss of merit too. This is ruined always. There are things that are only thoughts but still make us lose merit, etc. Or only thoughts but still make us have merit. For example, in our mind we have not spoken out but we always respect Buddha. Always love everyone. We have not spoken out, but starting to have merit gradually. It still becomes the karma. Sir, my name is Huyn Nok something. I have helped many people but am still betrayed. But betrayed by people from family to outside society. This many people suffer. The person asks why help then people betray. The cause is in the old days we also once betrayed. But we betrayed but we thought we did not betray. Reason is because in the old days we thought we did not betray. For example, because the dog lived with us, how many years of sentiment guarding the house. But coming to what day having someone asking for birth, we play we finish. Is it we betrayed? Or there were people rushing out on the battlefield, then riding horses to fight in the old days. Coming to when too hungry killed horse to eat always. Is it we betrayed the horse? We sowed causes of betrayal we did not know. At that time we kept thinking that was normal. But because of the karma of betrayal, that means we killed and ate the flesh of our benefactor. Later, so we help anyone also often be betrayed by people. Normally, people do not want to repay us. And people like to speak bad of us too. Because in old life we did things of betrayal, but at that time we did not know that was betrayal. We thought that was normal. Everyone did. But that was heavy betrayal. I invited many people to go make offerings do merit, but people did not follow. So do I have merit? We do not have merit yet. People do not follow. So where do we have merit? But we have not. Next time we invite find other people. And we try to practice. We practice naturally a word we say people listen having some spiritual power weight. Then people follow. As for we do not have spiritual power yet, we practice not thick yet, bowing to Buddha not much, heart-loving people not big. Then naturally we do not have the prestige we speak. People do not listen. Try to cultivate inner self. Sir, let me ask the teacher. The teacher lectured on sexual lust. So sexual lust of Buddhists in the way of husband and wife must be kept how? This issue is very delicate. It is very delicate. I also cannot present a few sentences in this. This is a big issue, not small. So cannot present a few sentences. If not yet researched carefully. So leave for some other time having occasion I will answer this issue. There are people saying that at the temple should not eat chicken eggs. Because seeing the teacher's temple, the teacher allows eating chicken eggs. Because chicken eggs from the chicken go out so carry killing karma. So don't drink milk. Because milk is also from the cow going out. We do not eat savory meat, is eating. What so do not kill only. Because the egg without a cock, unfertilized, it does not have life. The hen still has to lay according to physiology whether having cock or not having cock. It is different from other fetuses. Chicken eggs, duck eggs have a special thing is not needing cock still exist. So I allow eating to supplement the protein source which the practitioner lacks very much, like that like milk. It is not from killing. So we still use okay. No problem. Teacher teach me how to teach so children are obedient, listen to parents. And to have a child who is obedient. Speaking the truth, sometimes I feel sometimes I go ordain I see I am happy truly. When I see the couple marry then hope for the day to have a child. Then the wife is pregnant growing big coming to. Near day of birth giving birth happy. But happy for 3 days start worrying. Don't know if this one grows up obedient or not obedient or unfilial. And can we mold the soul of the child? No. The child who reincarnates in is like lottery, like gambling, luck or risk not known before. And therefore we must know to so what cause to let good people reincarnate into our family. As for if we do not so cause or so bad cause, then bad kids reincarnate in half big they cause trouble unbearable. So the issue to let the child be obedient is teaching after it is born is one part only. But to choose the person reincarnating into our house, that is important. It is sensing the process of sowing causes. This I have lectured in the tapes of Buddhist family already. Right? I have lectured already. Afternoon go find listen. In the tape teaching children. 2 tapes teaching children I spoke about this issue. Listen, sir, is it necessary to check age, day, month when marrying? Seems everyone also checks, right? Seems Vietnam we marry everyone checks. But divorcing also regularly. Actually, the day and month also has some rule with human life. Not that it doesn't. Proof is the subject of horoscope is very accurate. They born what day hour month. Plots horoscope speaking many things we must fear. That means like that between the time. Humans are born and human life there is a connection regarding cause and effect. Not that there isn't. However, if we believe in that then it becomes losing cause and effect. For example, there are people checking coming to now there is a woman about to give birth. Now want to let be correct good day hour. That hour is the hour of emperor for that baby born. Cannot be later, therefore bring in. Ask doctor to operate to take out. There is still forgetting this sentence. Any child born that day hour will be king. If not born by operation. As for if born by operation, beggar. In horoscope there is that sentence too. Forgetting that matter. Child not obedient. Parents must do how? Cry. Actually the child not obedient is whose karma? Of exactly that family too. Our family suffered what karma to give birth to that child out. But why we that child reincarnated into our house causing trouble for us? It has many causes. It has many causes. We do not speak all. In one time, for example, there is a very small cause. At some time, our business work had competition. Competition two sides could use violence. So we asked a hoodlum to stand to protect our house. Against the family over there in competition. 5 lives later the hoodlum reincarnates into our house as our child. Cause and effect must raise him. Because in the old days he protected us. So his character implies unbearable. That is cause and effect. So now we ask anyone behave carefully. Because sometime reincarnating as our child. Suffering wandering thoughts when reading sutras I must do how? The issue of wandering thoughts is a very big issue of humans. Merit very big to overcome wandering thoughts. So to let the mind be serene less wandering thoughts must have 3 factors. Full. First is morality. Second is merit. Third is qigong. The potential of 3 factors very abundant people can settle wandering thoughts. Can concentrate mind in meditation. And at that time we do what then not affected by wandering thoughts floating destroying. Like when we chant sutras only knowing that sutra sentence. It is different. My family knew the way since the only son passed away. To full moon of February then both of us took refuge. This child was filial, gentle, easy to like, and was the main economic source of the family. He left with life age 36 not yet married. Once the teacher lectured that 49 days after dying not yet reincarnated still in the intermediate body. 1,000 people only get 2-3 people reincarnating. As for remaining have to stay very long. Some people 60 years, some people 100 years, 200-300 years not yet reincarnated. So this Buddhist was confused not knowing like that where my child is. Died already. Now passing 49 days the teacher says not yet reincarnated so go where? Confused kept fearing. Saying no. The person whose life was gentle, easy to like. They return to their old realm. That realm is peaceful and happy. Sometimes is heaven realm. There are people very strange. They are people on heaven. They live happily, but they owe their family a bit. They reincarnate down for a few tens of years only. They do not stay long. Do not accept staying long. They do not accept staying to 70, 80 years old. Although their merit is much. They only vow down 30 years. 3 years die immediately. Down here we miss crying. But truth is they return to the old place they are peaceful in heaven realm. But they do not involve with our family much anymore. Like that. So not that suffering. There are people who are bad evil, then dying is suffering. As for good people sometimes they return to old place they are happy. Nothing. Don't worry. This year I am nearly 40 years old but live single. Teacher 47 years old is old. Want to practice meditation following the method of the teacher? Then I have written the book meditation textbook and lectured a series of tapes on meditation. Listen first. Then after that meet, the master's nuns will guide the actual practice concretely always. Is there any way to sow affinity with Buddha Dharma so next life? Reborn, I will become a true monastic? Wanting to be a true monastic must accumulate merit very much. Must respect Buddha. Must respect monks. Love sentient beings. And practice cultivating like a monastic. Next life we become a monastic very firm. Everyone loves. Not suffering hunger. Everyone meeting us also wants to make offerings. Because this life we offered very much. We helped very many people. I lay dreaming seeing my close friend suffering mental illness keep clinging to me crying and begging me. I do not know what to do to help that person cure the illness. Therefore I prayed asking for my friend to cure the illness. I will eat vegetarian for 1 month to thank. In the dream like that I will have to do what? You must eat vegetarian. Promise to eat. Vegetarian calculating to welch? Asking strangely. Promise try to eat. But actually eating vegetarian eating a month is not enough to cure a person of mental illness. Because in diseases, mental illness is when the karma is heavy, very heavy to suffer mental illness. But people suffering mental illness cannot by themselves escape. Must rely on very many relatives making merit. Dedicating to, then getting better. Parents, brothers, sisters, etc. must make merit praying for that person very much. That person naturally less developing illness. It decreases. Leave there. Rather hard to cure completely. Reaching mental illness is like we fall to another life. Very long. Very hard. I am 33 years old. I live collectively. Want to invite Buddha Bodhisattva. To worship? If our place is not solemn, don't worship. Don't worship. Just endure hardship going to the temple. We just recite Buddha in the mind. Then run to the temple we bow to Buddha is. Okay. Don't worship in the area that is not solemn bearing more sin. Later we have merit we build a house then worship. Before going. Year my house raises 2 Japanese dogs. And next year the female dog gives birth a few times. Each time like that I raise care for about 2 months then after that people have to buy back to raise not eat flesh. People are ornamental dogs and people also very treasure dogs. After that I take that money bring to give dana to poor people or buy oil bring into temple. Asking teacher if have sin? No. Is true no sin. It has merit nothing. Buddhist when taking refuge in 3 jewels already. So when family relatives parents have death anniversary, does that Buddhist get to light incense bow to parents? No. Taking refuge already then we still bow to our parents okay. Only when ordaining then not allowed. When ordaining is the moment making ceremony to ordain is we face parents. If parents are not present then we face the north we symbolize parents. Having bowed done then from there when parents die also not allowed to bow. As for we are lay people then allowed. No problem. Not yet suffering in 5 hindrances. Why do I suffer getting caught in? Torpor. Drowsiness. Heavy teacher? From beginning meditation until now keep starting sitting meditation is nodding sleeping. I also try to bow to Buddha repent make merit love people. But after these few years cannot change. Please teacher have compassion. There is. Maybe the karma of torpor. It has many causes. The because life old at some time until time to practice we tried to sleep in. Now we are punished. Now is we try to wake up early. Then encourage everyone else to be diligent in practice. But don't force people to wake up early. We offer lamps. In the old days often offered oil. Oil for the temple to light lamps. In older days often offered peanut oil for temple to light lamps. We get bright less sleepy. Life now then we contribute. Paying electricity money for temple. But we contribute paying electricity money for temple but ask temple don't use much. Because the reservoirs at Tri En and Hoa Bin ran out of water already. It is so. Wish Buddhists much happiness. See you again.